What's good, YouTube? It's your boy. I'm back at it again with another video. We got a very special one today. I actually got a remake of the first beat on Bino Rideaux Blxst's iconic project, Six Tape. It dropped back in 2019, and I feel like it really just like popped off their careers and kind of like inspired like a whole newer wave of West Coast music, and it's super dope. It's like one of my favorite projects of the last few years. So if you haven't listened to it and you're a fan of either of their music, I would definitely check it out because it's very fire. It's only like 5 or 6 songs or something. But yeah, so they just announced that they're doing Six Tape 2 is coming out later this month. So I thought right now would be a good time to get in the vibe with the original one and, remake one of the beats. So this is going to be the beat for Back Home. I didn't get it, exactly the same, but it's going to be pretty close. So let's get into it. The first thing I started with was this Flex preset, Steinway D Light, and I just started messing with the chords. I was trying to get like that chord piano progression that they have playing through the whole song to sound right. So here's the whole thing. And so this chord progression took me a while to figure out, but if you look closely at it, it's basically like a 2-5-1 progression. If you just take these two bottom notes on this first chord and you invert them, it's kind of like a 2 chord, but with some extra notes just like stacked in there. So I don't really know what you would technically call this chord. This is probably like a diminished chord or something weird like that. But basically to find this one, I kind of started with like just the normal 1 chord. And then I just sort of like messed with it and started adding in different notes, and this is what I came up with. This sounded like the best and the closest to the original. It's not, like I said, it's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. By the way, the beat is in F sharp minor. The BPM is 105. So after that piano, I layered it with another preset in Flex, Electric 80s. It's like and I also turned up the delay on this too. But it's just like an E piano sound. Check it out. And this piano pattern is basically just playing through the whole beat. There's just a few sections where like the main piano drops out and you just got like the Rhodes one. So next I did this lead. This is just the mono sign preset in Expand, and then I tweaked it a little bit. I think I added on like some effects and stuff. Check it out. So that one, it doesn't sound the best, but like when it's mixed in with all the other sounds, it just fits in there. It sounds kind of subtle. And then I layered that all with another Expand preset. This is actually from my preset bank. Link in the description if you want to go check that out. But this basically just follows like the top notes of the chord progression or whatever. So that one's just kind of coming in and out on different parts. It mainly plays in like the hook. And then lastly, we got the bass. And so I layered 2 1-shots for the bass sound, and it sounds pretty close to like the original song. So I started with this 1-shot, and then I layered it with this next one here. All right. So all together, this is how the melody and bass sound. Let's get into the drums. So first I just started off with this kick that it just follows the bass line. It's not hitting every single bass note though, so it's kind of like offsetting it. Next, I layered it with this stomp sound. And same thing. So these are all like, this is called syncopating. But basically they're all hitting on the same beat, but like not every sound is hitting on every beat at the same time, if that makes sense. So like the kick, the stomp, and the bass are all kind of like working together, but they're playing like separate patterns. But when they're all together, it makes more sense. And then I also layered this stomp with the classic but the is really quiet. Next, we've got this little triangle perk. And this doesn't sound exactly the same as the one that's in the song, but it was pretty close. Like I said before, like with the sound design, I wasn't necessarily trying to get it like exactly right. I probably could have got it in a little bit better, but I was mainly just trying to get like the patterns down. So next I layered everything with the shaker, and it's just got like the velocity changing a little bit on it. And that just comes in and out on different parts too. And then I have this little tambourine hit right here. In the original song, this is like a different sounding perk, but this one sounded close enough, so this is what I used. And that sounds like a tambourine, but I pitched it down on here. Next, we just got this little bongo. You'll hear this like in the song. It plays the same beat. And so we got a few more perks, and then I layered this snap sound too. This just hits every fourth clap. Then we added in the clap, obviously. And then I added in this scratch sound. I don't think this is actually in the original, but it fit pretty good. And then the last one, I layered it with this little triangle too. And then lastly, we just got the hi-hats. The hi-hats sort of come in on specific sections. They stay mostly through like the hook and the verse, but they kind of come in and out a little bit. And so I also added in this little crash just for extra sauce. Here's how all the drums sound together. And that's pretty much the whole beat. I'll show you guys a little bit of the mixing real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. So yeah, with the mixing, like I say in every single video, guys, it's mainly all with the levels. All this stuff, all I did really was like EQ. The lead sound, I added a little bit of delay and reverb. Still all just EQ though. The bass, I literally didn't even do anything. I just left it how it was. The kick, I use transient processor. I showed this in my last tutorial, but I've been using this plugin a lot lately. Makes the kick sound a lot kind of softer, so I'll show you like before and after. So here how the kick is like kind of soft. And so it's subtle. If you have headphones on though, you can hear the difference. Like it makes the kick a little less clicky. And that's just like a preference thing. It's kind of going to depend on the beat, whether you want the kick to sound like that or not. But for this one, I was trying to get it close to the original song, so use the transient thing on it. But yeah, other than that, it's literally all just the occasional delay, a little bit of panning too. Panning will help a lot. Once you do get your levels right in the mix, like if you still have things that aren't standing out the way that they should, but the volumes are good, that's when you start going to like the panning. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I just got my normal Fruity Soft clipper with the Ozone 8. I tweaked the Ozone 8, like the transients on here too. Ozone's a really good limiting plugin if you guys do ever want to use it. The EQ is really good. It's got like a stereo EQ. I just use Ozone Elements for when I'm making beats, but the full Ozone is really good too. And oh yeah, last thing, to do this filter on the intro, I did the filter kind of like the original song. I also filled it in with some wave sounds and like this little water sound. The original track, they've got like it's like more like ambient, like city noises. You could hear like sirens and stuff like when it's coming in. I didn't really have like a sample like that, and I didn't want to search for one, so I just used this wave one that I already had. But I use Fruity Filter to do this little low pass filter thing that it does. I just messed with the knobs basically until it sounded pretty decent, and then the automation clip here is actually controlling the mix. So you'll hear it real quick in the intro. All right, and that's pretty much going to wrap everything up. That's the whole beat. Like I said in the beginning, it's not exact to the original, but it's pretty close. I just posted the full beat on my YouTube channel. I don't want to play the full thing on here just in case. I don't want it to get like copyright striked or anything like that. But I'm going to put a link to the full beat if you want to go ahead and check it out afterwards. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up. As always, drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment if you learned something. Let me know what you want to see in the next video, and peace.